What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today I want to talk about day 9 of the 2023 Chicago Bears training camp. And day 9 was pretty quiet for the Chicago Bears overall. It was still a padded practice, but it was actually closed to the public, so not that many tweets were coming through and talking about practice. But I still got a couple of things that I want to report to you guys. Overall, right away, let's get into the injury update. Jaquan Brisker, Tremaine Edmonds, Shaq Sanborn, as well as Nate Davis and DeMarcus Walker will all not practicing today. Brisker was on a bike with a trainer, so at least that. But I feel like overall we shouldn't be too worried about those players right now. Let's just let them heal. It's probably just minor issues, or we would have heard about that right away. So I feel like that's minor issues that will be solved within the next couple of days or maybe next week. So that's all fine with that. And then for the players that were back at practice, which is more important, Tevin Jenkins was in full pads today, back from that minor issue that he probably had, because he's finally back practicing, right? So that's a good sign. He's a very important part for the offense, and great seeing him back in practice with full pads going all in. As we now want to move on to the actual practice for today, talking about the offense overall, they functioned pretty well in certain phases and also had some downs today too. But for Justin Fields, the quarterback, he went 9 for 10 in the 7-on-7 period, only missing one deep shot to Tyler Scott. So he, by reports, got the ball out quickly today, which is a trend that he's shown throughout training camp so far, which is really good. Give your playmakers a chance, look for easy completions, and then take deeper shots later on. And he also, by reports, had some better middle to deep shots that he completed today too, so love hearing that. But getting the ball out quickly is key, and it's going to be a great development to see for Justin Fields in 2023, hopefully. As for the 11-on-11 period, later on, the offense struggled a little bit in 11-on-11s, but came back in a 2-minute drill with Justin Fields going 4 for 6, finding Velus Jones Jr. over the middle. By reports, that was the best completion, but he also included Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, and Equanimeous St. Brown on those plays, so hitting 4 different receivers, spreading the ball around. Love that by Justin Fields. And the offense finished off that 2-minute drill where it was a tie game scenario, so you only need a field goal, and they got a field goal out of that drive. So love seeing that after early on struggles where the defense really dominated. Offense got their back and then scored on a 2-minute drill, so love seeing that. As for the rest of the guys that played today, Darnell Mooney with a nice route against Kyler Gordon on one-on-ones, so good to see him continuing to look healthy, as well as Chase Claypool. He continues to haul in passes by Justin Fields, so that connection between him and Justin Fields is really forming and getting better practice by practice. But the main focus about that catch was actually that Eddie Jackson tackled him while going out of bounds, and then a small fight between the two guys broke out with Chase ripping Eddie's helmet off of his head. So for me personally, I love that the intensity is heating up. I love that players are competing at practice. It's a good sign. Obviously, you want to prevent injuries with those fights, so it's not great in that aspect. But as long as nothing happens, it's great for the Chicago Bears, because guys showing heart, showing intensity, and are practicing and getting ready for the season and are ready to hit other people. So I'm excited for that. And for me, it's a good sign. Nothing too bad happened right there. As for some other receivers that were mentioned, especially Tyler Scott got some mentions today with some drops actually, so nothing positive about him today. And he also had a drop punt, so he was not holding on to the football today well. And for me right now, it's totally fine, because he's still a young player. He's going to develop. He's a rookie, right? So he's going to make mistakes along the way, which is totally fine. And for me, the good news reading in between the lines here is that he's actually getting targeted and that he's getting open, right? He's just not catching the football well at the moment, but that's something that he can work on, hit the jugs machine, whatever, work on concentration, work on that in next offseason, this offseason, right? Just put some effort into that. But as long as he's getting open and getting targeted, he should have a role on the Bears offense, and with time, his hands should develop better as well. As for rookie Roschon Johnson, he was mentioned today as well. He trucked over a DB by reports, so love the angry run, love the intensity by Roschon Johnson. Can't wait to see what he does in maybe preseason. I think we'll definitely see him on the field, 100%, but he got the fans cheering by reports. I love the energy right there by Roschon Johnson, getting some good hits and trucks over some people, so that's great. And then the play of the day was from the offense, probably PJ Walker, backup quarterback, with a 40-plus yard touchdown to Nasimba Webster. Nasimba Webster, also pretty fun guy that just seems to always stick around on the Bears roster and always make some underrated plays. Obviously, probably against the second team, but still good seeing them two guys connect. Good to see PJ Walker connect on a deep ball, and that was probably the play of the day for the offense overall. As we want to move on now to the defense, and for them, they were really dominant overall by reports in 11-on-11s, as I mentioned earlier before. Eddie Jackson also in one-on-ones had a pass breakup against Cole Kmet, so love seeing Eddie Jackson getting better by every single practice again as well, and I feel like he's really feeling the energy too when you watch his interviews. He's really getting excited. Also, after the Bears added Yannick Ngakoue yesterday, if you want to, feel free to check out my film room analysis on him. That was a really fun film study too. But Eddie Jackson is looking in for a pretty big 2023 season, in my opinion. Obviously, he had to miss last season with that injury later in the year, but before his injury, he was balling out. He was looking really good, and now the defense stacked up even more. We got better pass rushers. We got an elite linebacking trio. We got better secondary even as last year. So Eddie Jackson, watch out for him. He's going to have a huge year, hopefully, and I can't wait and see what he does in that defense because he is looking really good in camp so far as well. And then one more thing that was reported was in 11-on-11s, TJ Edwards as well as Dylan Cole looked really good by reports, so that's really exciting. Obviously, TJ Edwards, I expect him to be really good. He was really good for the Eagles. That should translate to the Chicago Bears quite nicely. But for me, Dylan Cole, that was a surprising name to see today. But obviously, with Tremaine Edmonds being out for today, he had a chance to show out. And Dylan Cole is a very explosive and a very physical linebacker too, as well as a very good special teamer. So love that he is having a pretty good camp, or at least a good practice for today, because I actually watched DeMarcus Walker's tape to the film room on him a couple of days ago too. And Dylan Cole shot my eye where he just lit up a running back on one play. So I was really excited for that because I didn't watch a lot of Dylan Cole tape before that. And that really got me excited a couple of days back. And now hearing about him today for camp practice is really exciting too. So it's an interesting player, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do in preseason as well. But Dylan Cole, definitely a good addition by the Chicago Bears, it seems like so far too. As for the practice overall, as I said, not a lot of information about today's practice, but the biggest takeaways are definitely that the intensity is heating up once again. And I love that by the Chicago Bears, just being competitive all day long. Eddie Jackson is really trending up even more and is really looking like his prime self in training camp so far. And overall, Tyler Scott had a couple of issues today, and Justin Fields had a pretty good 7-on-7 period and a very good 2-minute drive as well, getting the offense into field goal range. So overall, a pretty satisfying practice, even though there weren't a lot of information. And yeah, for the next couple of days, definitely stay tuned for a big Marcedes Lewis film room episode. Really excited about that signing. Haven't talked about him yet on the channel, but I feel like he's going to be a great player, so stay tuned for that film breakdown within tomorrow or the next couple of days. Don't know when it's going to drop, but with that being said, that's the end of the episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what you think of the Bears' performance today at day 9 of Bears camp. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. Check out Instagram and Twitter if you want to as well. And as always, guys, bear down.